Listen, if you are someone who wants opportunities to come to you rather than you having to go to it, right? If you are someone who wants to be able to switch from domain to domain, right? Let's say I was an athlete and now I'm a business owner, or I'm a business owner and then I became an actor or a comedian, or I don't know, right? Like, if you want to be able to switch, is the point, right? For all my multi passionate kind of people, then I want to encourage you with one thing in this podcast episode. Okay. I want to encourage you. I want to yell. I want to scream. I want to say it as loud and in whatever voice that you could hear me with, because of the importance of this one message, right? Which is to stop stopping and starting. This idea of stopping and then starting something else and then stopping and starting something else, right? Whether it's lots of ideas, right? Whether it's strategies, whether it's offers, right? Stopping and starting can look lots of different ways. You might not be stopping and starting with your offers, but you're stopping and starting with your marketing. Or you might not be stopping and starting with your marketing, but you're stopping and starting in your health, right? Like, the thing that I want you to hear, probably more than anything else, is that in order to have an abundance of aligned opportunities, not just opportunities, but the ones that you want, in order to get the things that you desire, it is going to require that you stick with something for a longer period of time. And I know that can be a little bit discouraging, especially depending on how long you've already been in the game. And it's like, I've been sticking with something, right? And it's like, yes, but to what degree, right? Because the question is not yes or no, right? That's where we go wrong. Hey, are you building a YouTube channel or not? And then it's like, oh, yeah. Are you launching a podcast? Yeah, right? It's like, we need to learn to go deeper with our questions, because these are not yes or no questions. These are, to what degree are you sticking to the thing that you said? To what degree are you implementing the strategy that you said you were going to do? To what degree, fill in the blank, right? And I just want to encourage you that the thing that you need more than most other things that you need is what I heard somebody, I don't know if it was a word I made up or somebody else made up, I don't know. But stick to itiveness. It is your ability to stick with a thing far longer than you planned, far longer than you feel like it, right? Because it just takes time. This is one of the biggest things that we talk about uh, with my clients, is this idea of capacity, right? You need the capacity, which is not to be confused with resilience or some other thing that we technically don't want, right? Resilience is like going through a bunch of tough times and I made it through. And it's like, nah, that's not what I'm talking about when I say capacity. When I say capacity, what I'm talking about is your ability to stick to itiveness. Okay. I like to use the analogy of the shooter and the sniper, right? The shooter is the person who runs in the club. I just maybe bad timing, right? But just stick with me for a second. The shooter is the person who runs into a location and shoots up random spots, the walls, they run and they jump and they just very busy. It's a mess everywhere, right? When they done, they've likely missed their target, made a mess, did a bunch of stuff and got nothing done. That's how most entrepreneurs operate, which is why I like the analogy, despite the fact that, it's probably a little less politically correct. Okay. But what capacity does, it allows you to operate as a sniper, right? You have to have capacity in order to be in the same spot for 3 days. Don't move, don't eat, don't. Now this is an extreme version, right? We're gonna move and we're gonna eat, right? But the point is, the reason why we're not where we want to be is because we think it's more effort. We think it's shooter shooter, 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 effort, effort, effort. When really it's focus, focus, focus. It has less to do with you putting in more hours, right? This is not about more hours. This is not about more effort. When we start talking about sticking to something, a lot of times people have resistance because it feels like I'm gonna have to do more. You don't have to do more. Matter of fact, you could do less. The average entrepreneur I know work 50, 60 hours a week, right? You could build a bigger business, a more aligned business, whatever it is kind of business that you want with less hours. It does not take six, my friend. But what it does take is capacity. And so I just want to employ you, encourage you, uh, that we got to stop starting and stopping because you just prolong how long it takes you to get to your destination. In order for you to get to where you want to be, right? As a matter of fact, if you are someone who is trying to figure out what is my assignment, purpose, calling, right? Like I know what I like to do, I know what I enjoy, I know what my expertise is, I know all these things that are adjacent, right, to my purpose, but maybe I don't know exactly what the assignment is. Okay, you should definitely be looking for our Black Friday deal, depending on the time that you're watching this. This might be already passed, and if so, you can still purchase it. It just won't be on Black Friday. Okay, but we have a bundle that would be perfect for the people who are multi-gifted, multi-passionate, have lots of ideas, all the things, right? Because the goal is for you to do all of these ideas in alignment with the goal that you have for yourself, with the destination, right? It's like when you stop and start, it doesn't get you closer to your destination, right? The goal is that when I get a new idea or somebody gives me their opinion, I filter it through my assignment and my purpose and my goals. But if you haven't clearly articulated some of these things, it's hard for it to act like a filter. You don't even know what questions to ask, right? So we have two things that you can purchase that are low ticket, ain't gonna cost you an arm and a leg, okay? And if you're getting them near the time that I'm recording this, which is what is this, November of 2025, then it's Black Friday and we're doing a bundle. Usually you buy them separate. So the first one answers the question. It's a private podcast channel, it's like a mini course, and it answers the question around how do I get into alignment? Okay, that's step one. You have to get into alignment. You have to know what alignment looks like for you. And then we have a workshop, which is how you stay in alignment, right? Because if you have a big goal, big vision, all these things, even if you don't have a big goal, which you probably do and probably should, you still have to be able to stay in alignment. Both of those things are so very important. So I will put a link somewhere around this video. They're also linked to my bio on every platform, and depending on the time that you're, catching this. I say all of that to say, stopping and starting is not your friend. It is causing you to lose trust in yourself. It's causing you to lose momentum, right? You don't realize that it's not just affecting your time and your energy and your money, right? Those are the things that we can kind of feel first. But almost greater than that, it's training your brain and your identity that we don't finish things. And if there's one thing that I'm on a mission for, it's to help you finish your assignment. Finish, not just start. We got real good at starting. But again, in order to finish, it takes sniper level capacity. That is my encouragement for you. No more stopping and starting. We're going to take all the expertise, all the gifts, all the talents, and turn them into a very clear direction. One where you don't necessarily have to give up, because I know that's the fear. It's like, well, I don't want to give up, some of these things that I want to do, right? Some of them you don't have to give up. You're just putting them in sequential order where it's like, oh, I need to do this first before I can go off and do this other thing. Why? Depending on your circumstance, right? Most of us need to make money first, right? So we need to do the thing that is going to monetarily work. And then we can add on things that might take a little more time to make money, but also are still in alignment with where it is that we want to be, right? That's what I want to encourage you now, next year, forever. is to get into alignment, stay in alignment